holiday season, the adventure takes off when toys come to life.
To infinity and beyond!
Toy Story.
Look out! Can.
What's going on, you guys? BigV75 here, aka Vince Salerno. Today I'm doing a audio review. Today I'm going to be reviewing a movie that I absolutely adore. It's Toy Story. The reason why I'm doing this is obviously Toy Story 4 is coming out in a couple days upon posting this review. And, videos take a long time to edit, so I figured I'd just get these cranked out fairly fast in audio form. I'm going to be taking a look at all three Toy Story feature films, including an episode dedicated to the TV specials and also the short films. If it's not obvious to those of you who've been following me right now, I am a dedicated, die-hard Toy Story fan. I have loved these movies for as long as I can remember. Toy Story, I'll be honest, Toy Story 2 was actually the first movie I ever saw, thinking it was number one, and I was too young to know what numbers were. I just thought Toy Story 2 was it. It didn't occur to me that 2 meant, oh, that means there's 2 of something, and that if this is a sequel, something came before that. And then I watched Toy Story, and that movie just thrilled me as a kid in a way that I've never been thrilled by a movie before. And I still adore Toy Story 2, but as I matured, I saw like just deeper themes in the first movie, things that I related to, and things that I would carry on from childhood into adulthood. It's a movie that is kind of part of the backbone of who I am as a person, as a filmmaker. It is a movie that I confidently say to this day is my favorite movie. I work at a movie theater right now, and on my name tag is Toy Story, and it's cool for people to acknowledge that, and they're like, oh, so you're probably like super excited for Toy Story 4, I bet. And I'm like, you have no idea. This is my favorite franchise of all time. It's literal perfection. Nothing has exceeded it, I think, despite what you want to say, like, oh, Avengers or Star Wars or Godfather, whatever. It's like these movies, even with 4 coming out, having 100% Rotten Tomatoes, these movies have been flawless. Absolutely flawless. You can critique the outdated animation from the first movie, even the second movie, and comparably to number 4, even Toy Story 3. But that's just a product of the times they were made, and it's nothing to do with the quality. That being said, let's get into this review of Toy Story. For those of you who've never seen Toy Story, and I'm sure there are a very few number of you who have not seen Toy Story listening to this review, but the first movie, made in 1995, came out November 22nd, 1995, centers on a toy named Woody. He is a old-fashioned 1950s cowboy doll, and he is this young boy named Andy. He is Andy's favorite toy, and they make that very clear in the beginning of the movie that Andy loves this toy. Woody is his hero, his best friend. He takes him everywhere and anywhere with him, and of all the toys that he loves and adores, Woody is top dog. And when he leaves the room, the toys come alive, and the room and the toys' lives are that of like work, like a office building. And being a toy is their 9-to-5 job, and they have staff meetings, they have regular checkups, they make sure that all the toys are good to go, and when there's yard sales, they make sure that everyone's present and accounted for, and nobody who they don't want to see sold gets sold. And that's getting into Toy Story 2 though. But this is their 9-to-5 job, and just like when new recruits are hired at workplaces, fear of getting replaced or getting fired or let go is constant fear. And with the toys, it's no different. Birthday parties or Christmas is a constant time of fear for the toys because they're afraid Andy will get new toys that will cause him to not play with them as much, and thus getting them replaced. Woody has never been afraid of this because he has always been Andy's favorite toy and confident that he always will be. Until in a early celebration of Andy's birthday, a new toy enters Andy's room. It is the newest and coolest toy of 1995, Buzz Lightyear, voiced by Tim Allen. And again, Woody is voiced by Tom Hanks, if you didn't know that. And the two butt heads. Buzz is quickly accepted as the new favorite toy and liked among everybody, and Woody is kind of growing jealous of Buzz as he is taking over his life, taking over the favor of Andy, and even taking over the room, so to speak. Andy gets his posters replaced with Buzz Lightyear stuff, his bed sheets replaced with Buzz Lightyear stuff, which, this isn't a critique of the movie, but like, should you really be spending money on new bed sheets when you're about to move into a new house? Just saying. Anyways, and Woody and Buzz get into, again, they continue to butt heads, and it's two enemies that get lost when trying to get rid of one another, and as soon they realize they'll have to work together to get back to Andy's house. Let me get into the themes and why I think this movie is so powerful and was so fantastic. The central theme of this movie is friendship. And it's the friendship between Woody and Buzz that develops. It's the friendship between Woody and Andy, and even Buzz and Andy. Starting off with Woody, he is so, again, because he's never been anything less than the favorite toy, he's not used to being, second to any other toy. And when he's challenged with that, with someone who he doesn't think appreciates Andy in the way he does, or even acknowledges Andy in the way he does, he grows increasingly jealous of Buzz. And it's this jealousy that causes Woody to act out of character and do things that he would never do. Like try to knock Buzz out the window and tell him off and try to, challenge him. Like, you want to do this the hard way, Space Ranger? And it's this delusion that Buzz has that he is a Space Ranger that makes Woody think that he doesn't care about Andy in the way that he does, and Buzz doesn't deserve to be loved by Andy, and doesn't deserve to be in the same room as him. And so when he devises the plan to knock him under the desk, it quickly goes into his favor and beyond. He gets knocked out the window and possibly lost, and that leads the two of them to be lost at the gas station, go to Pizza Planet, get stuck in Sid's house, the worst place you could ever be stuck in as a toy, and they're forced to work together despite their, hatred for each other, with Buzz having different goals in mind, but Woody wanting to get both of them home. And over the course of the movie, Woody learns that he needs Buzz, one, to just get back in favor with Andy and his friends. More than him needing Buzz, Andy needs Buzz, and he kind of learns that, he has to get Buzz back to the room for Andy's sake, and he has to accept the fact that he may, when he returns to the room, he may not be the favorite toy, and that Buzz may have officially taken that spot over for him. Woody learns that he has to accept that, and they state the theme very early on in the movie. Within the first 10 minutes, Woody states the theme, and it's the line, "It doesn't matter how much we're played with. What matters is that we're here for Andy when he needs us. That's what we're made for." And Woody breaks that rule throughout the movie when he tries to get rid of Buzz, and he sort of realizes that that line is the crux of his job as a toy. And it's not about him getting played with. It's about him being there for Andy when he needs him. And of course, throughout the movie, Andy needs both Woody and Buzz because he loves both of them equally as toys. My all-time favorite scene in this movie is the scene where Woody is stuck in the milk cart with the toolbox on top, and Buzz has the rocket strapped to him, and they're sitting there and just talking. Woody is desperate to get out. Buzz is sitting there in self-pity, thinking like, I'm nothing. I'm a toy. I'm a stupid little toy. I thought I was more. I thought I was a space ranger. I thought it was meant for more, and I'm not. And Woody convinces Buzz that being a toy is the greatest thing in the world, because you may not be special to the world, but you're special to one child, and that's your job, is to be there for that child. And he needs Buzz because he loves him. He's the coolest toy. And Woody acknowledges that you are a way cooler toy than I could ever be. And Woody learns to humble himself. It doesn't matter if Andy needs him or not. What matters is what Andy needs at that moment is Buzz. And Woody admits that even if that means I never get played with another day in my life, as long as I do what's right for Andy, and as long as I'm there for Andy when he does need me, that's all that matters. And it's that humbleness that allows Woody and Buzz to connect. Woody telling Buzz that that's what it means to be a toy. It convinces Buzz that Woody's not such a bad guy, and Andy may need me, but he's also gonna need Woody, because I think Buzz acknowledges that Woody appreciates and loves Andy more than he ever could. That's what leads to them becoming best friends and deciding to escape together, and leading on to I think is the greatest climax in any movie, them trying to get onto the moving van. No other climax in the movie has thrilled me in that way. Maybe Avengers Endgame. I do want to get into Buzz's arc, because I kind of hinted at it a little bit, but he starts out thinking he's a space ranger, that he's meant for these bigger and greater things, and he kind of comes into this world like comparatively, I want to say almost like Forky, but it's a different situation where Buzz is fully cognizant and aware of who he is, and not like, why am I alive? He's like, this is my purpose. And Woody's like, no, it's not, you're a toy. And of course we know that Buzz is delusional in that sense for the most of the movie, and it's not until he watches that commercial that he realizes, oh, I am a toy, and I'm nothing. And it's that scene where he's trying to fly and fails is paired with that great song by Randy Newman, who wrote all of the great songs of the Toy Story franchise and composed all the movies. I Will Go Sailing No More. It's a song about how it's kind of like in the mindset of Buzz, and he's acknowledging that, like, I'm nothing. My dream is crushed. But then he has this moment of like, no, this can't be right. I am a space ranger. I am Buzz Lightyear. Tries to fly, and his arm breaks off, and that's where like the overwhelming feeling of defeat surrounds Buzz, and he doesn't know how to deal with himself, and he just considers himself a failure. He says, I can't help anyone. I'm not a space ranger. And he sees himself as insignificant. And again, it's through that conversation he has with Woody that he realizes that I am made for something greater than being a space ranger. I'm made to be there for a child and make them happy. That connection he has with Andy is special and means more than being a space ranger. It's the most important thing, being there for your friends, whether that's Andy or whether that's Woody. And in that moment, Buzz acknowledges that Andy needs him, but he needs Woody. And it's at this moment where their friendship truly begins. That's why it's such a beautiful moment. That's why I love it so much. It's where the trust and the friendship begins, because it's also kind of a test of like how far these guys will go to help each other. And at the end, when Sid is about to blow up Buzz with the rocket, Woody is saving Buzz not because he needs him to get back in favor with Andy or get back in favor with the other toys in Andy's room. He's doing it because he cares about Buzz, and Buzz is his friend. And again, that's the meaning of true friendship, is being there for your friend, whether they need you or not. I mean, I think it's a very relatable thing. Like I've been in situations where I've almost felt like jealous of other people coming into some of my best friends' lives and thinking like, well, do they even need me anymore? Like, who's this schmo walking off the street thinking they can be as good of friends as I am with so-and-so? It's those situations that like humbled myself, and I realized like I may not always, I'll be there for who so-and-so as long as, when they need me. And I have to acknowledge that they have other people in their lives that they need as well, and I can't always be the favorite friend or the best friend. People need more than one person in their lives, and true friendship is acknowledging that that your friends may not always need you, but there will come a time when they will, and you have to be there for them. And that's the message that sort of carries throughout all three and possibly this fourth film. John Lasseter, obviously the director. Allegations aside, he is my favorite director, favorite creative head of anything. I mean, the movies he's made and the leadership he's given Disney and Pixar Animation is just incredible. He and all the minds at Pixar crafted a amazing story out of Toy Story and continued with all the films and all the short films and all the different forms of media for Toy Story. It's just incredible. This movie kind of started the careers of mostly everybody at Pixar. I mean, Lee Unkrich, who ended up directing the excellent Toy Story 3. Andrew Stanton was story head on this. Joss Whedon, who directed The Avengers, was a writer on the movie. Joel Cohen was a writer on the movie. Just so many different people. I can't get into all of them, but obviously this movie can't be... Woody and Buzz are obviously the crux of the film, but, you can't have Toy Story without Rex, without Ham, without Mr. Potato Head, without Slinky Dog, without Bo Peep. And they're all voiced excellently. Mr. Potato Head, obviously, by the late Don Rickles, who was able to voice Potato Head in 3 films and all the shorts and cartoons and stuff that appeared on TV. He'll be returning in Toy Story 4 thanks to archived audio that has been recorded over the years for Don Rickles, and so I'll be interested to see how that works out. Obviously, Rex is like one of the most classic characters in Toy Story, voiced by Wallace Shawn. I just love the idea of a dinosaur who's always nervous and self-conscious about how terrifying he is when he's not. Ham might be like one of the best characters in Toy Story. Just this piggy bank who's always sitting on the window sills looking out at the world, has this vast knowledge of everything, and of course voiced by the great John Ratzenberger, who has been like Pixar's Lucky Charm, has been in every single movie in some form or another, and Ham is his greatest role, probably next to P.T. Flea from Bug's Life. I could do a whole episode on John Ratzenberg, on his storied legacy with Pixar. Slinky Dog, voiced by Jim Varney, who played Ernest, as we know him famously, and unfortunately passed away before he could record Toy Story 3, and was excellently replaced by Bob Clark. I think Bob Clark was a really good replacement for Slinky, and he's sort of kept the memory of Jim Varney's voice work as Slinky alive, and it's really cool to see Slinky live on. I think hopefully that's what Jim Varney would have wanted, and I mean, there's subtle differences. You can tell that it's not the same actor, but I mean, I treasure every little bit of sound that we get of Jim Varney voicing Slinky, because he really added a unique voice to Slinky. And then, of course, Bo Peep, who didn't get a lot of attention in these movies and is finally getting her due in Toy Story 4, but she was just there to serve a purpose. Kind of, she's been the the conscience for Woody, like the Jiminy Cricket on Pinocchio's shoulder. That's what Bo is to Woody. Also a love interest, obviously, but she's that conscience to him and trying to steer him in the right direction, let him know everything's going to be okay when things get a little worrisome for Woody, when he's afraid about being forgotten by Andy. I mean, Bo reminds him that Andy's always going to have a special place for you, even if he's excited about Buzz right now, and she's there for him at a very early time in their relationship, and we'll see how their relationship furthers in Toy Story 4. The last thing I want to touch on is the music. The music of Toy Story, again, Randy Newman is a mastermind genius with Toy Story. There's not a single ineffective moment of music in these movies that doesn't get the point across. I mean, like he's a mastermind when it comes to this stuff. Pixar really challenged Disney into not making this into a musical and making it sort of like songs that are recorded for the movie, but they're sung by Randy Newman, but they're from certain characters' point of view, like You Got a Friend in Me is just, one of the greatest songs of all time. Strange Things is sung by Randy Newman, but again, from the perspective of Woody, seeing his life be changed by Buzz. We'll Go Sailing No More is Buzz's, sort of self-defeat, realizing he's not a space ranger. Just brilliant songs, so well written, and he's continued to crank out amazing songs throughout all 4 movies. I mean, I listened to Lonesome Cowboy before recording this, and sung by Chris Stapleton, but written by Randy Newman, and it's just incredible. It's an incredible song. You cannot have Toy Story without Randy Newman, and if we're lucky enough to get a Toy Story 5, if they think that the franchise warrants a Toy Story 5, there's a story to tell, and God willing, Randy Newman is alive when we get that one. Like, I hope so, because I can't imagine Toy Story without Randy Newman composing the score, because he knows these characters just as well as Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, John Lasseter, Lee Unkrich, like all the creators at Pixar. Overall, again, Toy Story is such a special movie in my life. It is the greatest movie of all time, in my opinion. I laugh, I cry at parts. It's one of those movies that makes me so happy and so emotional, more than any other movie. It's one of those movies that, like, you get misty-eyed at how good you think it is. Like that moment where Buzz and Woody finally fly. It's such a magical moment, and it gets me emotional, because it's like, this is the like iconic, final shot of the movie where we see their friendship they've grown so much as characters, and they've taken their a relationship as characters to new heights. Woody is my all-time favorite character in any movie. I relate to him so much in so many ways, which I'll get into in further installments of this Toy Story series that we'll be doing. He's my favorite character. Buzz Lightyear is also one of my favorites, and the two of them, I think that friendship is the greatest friendship ever portrayed on screen. And just watching it again recently just reminded me of how much I love this movie, and why it reminded me of why I got into film, why I love filmmaking, and why I want to be a filmmaker, and what going to the movies means to me. And it's like, those are the types of feelings, like, every movie, I think, should strive to be as good as Toy Story in their own way. And it's a shame some don't, but very few do. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know your thoughts on Toy Story. What do you think of the first movie? Is it a good movie? Do you think it's the worst of the movies? What's your favorite Toy Story, if this one isn't your favorite? And look forward to my reviews of Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3, the short films and the TV specials, and then later on, a couple of different reviews regarding Toy Story 4. Well, thank you guys for listening in. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can check out my short films and trailer reactions and movie reviews of other films. I just posted an Avengers Endgame review, which you can check out at the end of this video. There's a new episode of the Vince Salerno podcast out right now, where I talk with Eric Jenkins, a fellow filmmaker, where we talk about Godzilla, Robert Pattinson being casted as Batman, Pixar's newest film, Onward, and the first teaser for Terminator, Dark Fate. Available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you get your podcasts. All right, well, you guys have a great day. God bless, and peace out.